Hello everyone, Dan the 14th Prime here, bringing you a video review of the Hasbro Transformers Generations Combiner Wars Brawl, a Combaticon that combines to form Bruticus. So here you see the front of the packaging here. It's kind of a cardboard backing with the bubble here. It's got the comic in the back there, as you can see. Then you got the figure and two accessories. Looks like basically a robot mode and an alt mode gun accessory. Flip it around here on the back and you can see a couple pics of Brawl in robot mode and alt mode, and then the other Combaticons over there on the right that combine to form Bruticus. And interestingly, as a G1 fan and growing up with Transformers, I noticed they don't actually use the word Combaticons anywhere in the packaging. So they're not referring to them as that, though maybe we'll see that in the comic. We'll have to see. So pretty simple packaging. There he is. Let's open him up and take a look. A couple quick things before we get to Brawl. He does come with this comic book, Combiner Wars from IDW. Brawl's basically the cover art there, as you can see. I took a spin through it, didn't read it yet, but it doesn't have the Combaticons in it. So no reference of them there. It's mainly got Bumblebee and Wheeljack and some guys in there. So I'll read that later. And just in terms of the packaging, I will say if you're interested in keeping your packaging nice or in nice condition for storage or anything like that, it is easy to just kind of pry open this side flap here. You can pull out the comic and pull out the tray of the figure and keep everything nice and intact in the packaging, which is nice if you want to keep that for. So here is Brawl out of the box, all nice and shiny. I will say just what jumps out immediately, being a G1 fan, and actually Bruticus was the one complete combiner set that I had when I was a kid. His color is sort of a almost brownish green or olive maybe, versus the real sort of grass green or army green that you might be used to seeing, or certainly that I'm used to seeing from how he was as a G1 toy, and actually on the packaging. I don't know how easy it is to pick that up, but on the packaging he has, I think, the more appropriate green color. But still a nice looking figure, so let's go in and take a closer look at him and some of his accessories. So first I'm just going to give you the quick kind of aesthetic up and down so we can take a look at the molding and the paint apps on kind of all sides of the figure. So I'm just going to pan down here. You can take a look at the feet and legs. He's got some paint apps there, some nice molding, which is going to be sort of the back of that tank, I presume, once we get him transformed. We come up through some skinny thighs, up through the midsection there. You can see how they've done kind of the arms on a ball joint, sort of, for some elbow movement. We'll take a look at articulation a little bit later. Okay, so there's the front. Feel free to pause. And here's the back of the guy. What becomes very obvious is that black accessory that looks like his handgun's also going to be the tank turret in alt mode, because he doesn't have one built in. So you get some of the plugs and kibble on the back, but you got the tank treads there. Some nice molding on the top of the tank. A little bit of backpack there with the top of the tank blocking the head and everything. Quick left side here. Mainly just tank tracks. Decepticon logo looks nice. And then his right side, which looks very similar to his left. In terms of articulation and robot mode, you get a little bit of like an ankle tilt here, actually. This kind of tilts on both sides. And actually, I presume this is going to be for transformation. You can disconnect that even if you wanted to get some extension there off the foot on an up and down basis, and also the side to side. So you can probably do some things, use some of the transformation pieces to your advantage. You get a knee, it's going to go back pretty good. The leg is of course based on a ball joint, so it's going to kick out just fine. even back some, but it runs into the tank thing, but that's fine. You just swivel there at the thigh as well. And then bringing them up on the arms, they go up reasonably high laterally there. Especially considering that big tank tread just comes around top of his head. Going inside is of course difficult with the chest. Again, his elbows are like on these ball joints, which you can probably see right there. So that's basically going to spin everywhere and also go up. So that's nice. And the head, not much. It goes back for transformation and it mainly just turns. Alright, so let's transform into tank mode. So to transform Brawl into tank mode, first thing you do is take his gun, and it pegs onto the back there. It's probably hard to see, but there's a slot there, and there's actually some pegs. It snaps in with those pegs. So you get the gun turn on, come back around the front. I'll push the head back. I like to turn it. It doesn't seem necessary maybe, but I think it just hides the face better. So turn the head, push it back, bring up the tank turret. The arms, they have this elbow piece, so you want to complete a tread by basically folding it up and back like that. Same thing on this side, kind of like the back of his hand is the tread, so fold it up and it makes part of the tread. Kind of flatten them out here and bring his arms under him. What you'll find is the wheels of the tread here have some slots. Well, they'll sit nice and neatly under there. So there's basically the upper body transformation. To get the legs, it's a little slicker. First, you just do a little bit of a pivot at the waist there, bring the waist around. Then there's a hinge here at the knee. Probably the one kind of slick transformation thing, so it actually kind of slides out. See how it's got grooves and everything, and slides in there pretty nicely. You want to push it out and then kind of fold it in. Right? So push the leg armor piece out to get the thigh loose, and then just there's a hinge there to just kind of, what's the word, accordion it up. The hinge is going to cooperate with us. There we go. So you got to kind of crunch all that together. And then there are some tabs here to get the legs facing the right way. Some obvious tabs here on top. Put the legs together. And you just want to bring that in with the top of the figure. Okay, so that's at least a little bit painful because this waist hinge piece really needs to go up tight. It's got a couple hinges on it. It has to go really flush to the head and back to get the legs all the way up to connect to the arms. So that always takes a little bit of work. But then you just bring back the top of the tank. And there he is, tank mode Brawl. So here's just a close-up of tank mode Brawl so you can take a look. It looks really good as a tank. I mean, there's nice molding in there. You got the treads, which look nice, Decepticon logo. There's the front on shot. And pretty hollow from the back, which is of course going to be the bottom of the foot as well for Bruticus. And of course you got the turret here, which can go up and down at the gun. It actually is not rotating, doesn't seem to rotate side to side. So I'm not going to transform him back into robot mode, obviously just repeat and reverse what we just did. But let's go ahead and put him in to leg mode, because that's kind of his traditional place on Bruticus. They make these Combiner Wars guys pretty flexible, as you may know. He can be an arm or something as well, but Bruticus has always been a leg, so let's go ahead and do this simple conversion. So he's got these kind of ankle tilt things I mentioned before that just flip down. And these are going to make the bottom of his foot, of course, but basically creating kind of just that wider base. And then up top, he just needs a place to plug into Onslaught when they come together. So this piece here has some traction there. You can kind of use your thumb to push on it to get it going, and then the peg pops out. That'll of course go into Onslaught to become the leg. And let's not forget this piece, which is of course his foot. And here you can see how it would be a hand if you want to put him in that position. I'm not going to do that. But this is basically just his foot. It's not a alt mode accessory in any way. Just plugs into the bottom here. And here you have Brawl as Bruticus's leg. So pretty simple transformation from tank mode to leg. I don't love the foot. I just remember my G1 Bruticus with those big silver feet, so I'd like something wider, but that's probably just my G1 bias. Otherwise, he's probably quite consistent with all the other Combiner Wars figures in terms of being a foot. Be sure to check out the rest of my Combaticons, Combiner Wars videos. I'm going to do them all each individually, and then do one video separately of the combined Bruticus, and look forward to seeing that. So that's the Brawl figure guy from Transformers Combiner Wars. First of my videos to get through the Bruticus collection and get him assembled, so be sure to check out the rest of those. I'll have them all up over the course of the next few days, and we'll see the total Bruticus figure. Thanks for watching. Check out the next video.